When people remember the PlayStation 1, they remember the giants. Snake, Crash, Cloud Strife. But with a library of over 7,000 games, for every legend there are dozens of masterpieces, time quietly erased. You played the hits, but did you ever play the ghosts? The 90s were the wild west of game development. No engagement metrics, no live services. Studios weren't chasing algorithms. They were chasing ideas. They simply threw paint at the wall and sometimes accidentally invented the future. And because of that, the PS1 era holds the deepest archive of hidden gems in gaming history. And tonight, we're about to unearth 3 of them. First is a game called Future Cop L.A.P.D. At a glance, we thought it was just a simple mech shooter, but buried inside is something quietly revolutionary. Its mode, Present Assault, wasn't just about shooting. You captured command points, spawned AI units, pushed lanes toward an enemy core. Sound familiar? Long before terms like MOBA existed, Future Cop was already experimenting with territory control and automated armies fighting beside you. Not inventing the genre, but foreshadowing it. Your mech transforms instantly between walker and hovercar. The controls are tight. The chaos feels strategic, not random. Most players passed it by. Looking back, Future Cop was staring into the future of competitive design. Then there's the Atmosphere King, Einhänder. In 1997, Squaresoft, the studio behind Final Fantasy, decided to make a scrolling shooter. Somehow they turned it into cyberpunk poetry. The soundtrack pulses with industrial techno. The cityscapes glow with lonely neon. Your ship doesn't just fire, it steals weapons from enemies and mounts them mid-flight. It feels aggressive, mechanical, stylish. Einhänder wasn't just a shooter, it was a mood. By the late PS1 era, shooters weren't mainstream anymore, and Square wasn't known for the genre. So Einhänder slipped into cult status, respected by those who found it, invisible to those who didn't. But the crown jewel of the overlooked, the Legend of Dragoon. Sony wanted their own epic RPG, so they've built a 4-disc saga with cinematic beauty and mechanical depth most players weren't even ready for. At release, it was overshadowed by juggernauts like Final Fantasy, but Dragoon did something special. It refused to let combat become passive. Instead of selecting attack and waiting, you performed additions. Time button presses synced to animation. You didn't command the heroes, you fought with them. And when you transformed into a Dragoon, wings igniting mid-battle, it felt earned. Not flashy, but powerful. Legend of Dragoon wasn't perfect, but it had a soul. And sometimes soul gets buried when the market moves on. So why revisit these now? Why even load a disc from 1998? Well, because these games were born from limitation. Foggy draw distance, jagged polygons, CD loading hum, those limits forced developers to choose art direction over raw graphics. There were no glowing arrows, no minimaps screaming at you. You just played, and in that space, imagination did half the work. If you own a PS3, a PS1, or even an emulator, skip the bestsellers list. Go into the B-Sides. When you boot up Legend of Dragoon, you aren't consuming content. You're stepping into a moment where developers trusted curiosity more than convenience. Where games felt personal, quiet, unoptimized in the best way. They might be hidden, but in this archive, they are essential. Now I want your deep cuts. What's the one PS1 game you loved that nobody else seems to remember? Leave it down in the comments. Let's build the saga together. And if you want to keep unearthing these memories with me, subscribe to JinseiSaga. We're only getting started.